Hey, grand risings to you folks. Welcome to another cool edition of What's Going On The Experience here on Fox Sports 1280. And I got the crew, and you know how we do it in iHeartMedia. I got my man downstate, Ryan V, down in the Hamptons. Can't nobody get around that damn place, Ryan. What are you doing this Shinnecock? I don't understand you peoples.
Yeah, it's been a disaster. It's just one road that goes in and out of the Hamptons and thousands of people, and now hundreds of celebrities and the who's who of the world. Apparently, every celebrity you can imagine being spotted just walking the streets. Yeah, it's crazy out here, but we made it through another U.S. Open. I'm surprised that you
What?
guys didn't get out here for the big game.
Nah, man. And then we got our resident MLB Mr. 355 GV23, my man. Greg Vaughn. How you doing, GV23? You ain't on the golf course today. What's happening? Taking a break?
No, I'm good, man. Good to be back. Good to be seen, and good to be back on for another week. Another week, and I'm glad to see you wearing that Mets hat, even after they got
Listen,
rid of
man.
their manager.
Listen, I know poser, and I'm gonna introduce you to our new guy on the block. You know we always have
Can you
new
guys hear
kids
me? You
on the
guys are
block.
frozen.
Yeah, now, listen, come on. You know how we have new kids on the block. So we got my man Elijah Lugo. He's our new director of marketing for What's Going On The Experience. Elijah, welcome to the show. Tell the folks your little background on how you got here.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. So I'm over from White Plains, New York, and I actually met Mr. Brown up in Buffalo during the March Madness tournament. And I was in charge of doing the food vouchers, and that's where I met up with Mr. Brown. And I had to take care of him. I made sure he got fed. And from there, we connected there on out, and I was able to talk with him and be able to get to this point now.
I love it. That's all it takes. You give Nate some free
Dude,
food at the event. You get yourself on Fox
listen,
Sports
Greg.
Radio.
And you know, Greg, you've been to tons of events, and you know, because you're a celebrity. I'm not a celebrity. He took care of me like I was. That's what he like, yo, Mr. B, I got your stuff. He made sure I was eating, make sure I had some drink, some libation, and let me walk around. Like he really treated me. I'm like, I like this guy. He got to be a part of our crew, Ryan, because he got some juice, Greg. We can't hear you, Greg.
I said next year is here in Vegas. I can't wait.
Greg,
I
we're
think
gonna be all of us gonna be flying high right there in Vegas doing the NCAA, and I'm just excited because one of the things that um Elijah was working with was he was also doing credentialings as well, right? And as the teams went on, they were playing, we hooked up, and I was doing an interview with the new Dallas Mavericks coach, Dusty May. As a matter of fact, three of those Michigan cats, Greg, and I told you when I came back, should have been playing in the NBA. Remember I said that? Those three big boys. I was like,
Yep.
what are they doing
Yes,
playing
sir.
with these
I
little
think we have
guys? They
bad
should be in the
internet
damn
today.
NBA. So they're all in the NBA. Dusty May is in the NBA now as a coach. So do me a favor, Ryan. Play that little interview that I did because I think Elijah was in the room too, and I asked him, why ain't you throwing the ball down low to these three big guys? Come on, Dusty, get it together. Yo, man, Elijah, we was there in the room, and I was like, God, this Greg, as you would say, the biggest people in the room, throw the ball down low. He did that. Now he's on his way to Michigan. But Elijah, he's on the way to Dallas. But Elijah, they said that it was a little thing because he just left real quick from winning
Yeah.
the AA tournament, and now he's in Dallas. It was the scandal or something.
It's a
What's
quick
happening?
transition. Yeah. It's a quick transition from he goes from becoming NCAA champion for March Madness, and now he takes his experience. He only had 2 losses going into it, and one was from the Big Ten tournament. And then from there, they steamroll everyone by 15 plus points up until the final. And so he gets to take all of that plus his player Morez with him into the league, and now he's the face of Dallas. He gets to save Dallas from Luka Doncic being traded.
So what do you think about that, Greg? As he transitions from college to sports, to pros, is he ready?
We'll see. Everybody speaks very highly of him, but time will tell. I think it just seems like his resume, his players love him. Everywhere he's been, he's won, and his players love him. So, I know the relationship's a little bit different in pro ball, but I think he's going into a good situation. I think, only time will tell. We'll see. Even with all these draft picks, time will tell. We can say they're going to be this and that. We'll see what happens.
So Ryan, he's going there to Dallas. He's got Cooper Flagg, right? So how's he going to rock out? And that should be a pretty competitive team. I don't know if they're going to win anything with San Antonio and the rest of those guys, but they should be competitive, Ryan.
Yeah, look, it's another team that I always liked Jason Kidd. Ever since that moment where he spilled that, was it Coca-Cola, Diet Coke on the court? I always appreciated him as a player. I'm sad to see him go. And, college coaches don't always really pan out, but if there's a team that it makes sense for, it to be a new, young, fresh Dallas Mavericks team. Their best player is only, 20 years old in Cooper Flagg. So I guess it could make sense. They're bringing their guy there with him. So if you're going to roll the dice, why not? They have been the most disastrous front office in the last 20 years with the moves that they've made. So the bar is not set that high. So I've got faith in Dusty May. I think he might be able to. What is the worst that could happen? What is the worst that could happen? They traded Luka Doncic.
I have to argue with the worst front office. My Kings have been giving them a run for the money. You know what I mean?
They didn't trade Luka, though.
Yeah, well, we didn't have Luka to trade. We didn't draft him. Remember, Vladi said Fox was better. Vladi said Fox was better. So, we stuck with Fox and didn't draft Luka.
But speaking of draft, like Elijah, give us that draft order because we were talking about that the other night, and one of the things that's interesting is that I think we're boozling because I thought he was gonna go to Utah like his like his dad.
Yeah. So I feel like everyone was under the same consensus that Dybonsa was going to go first. And then it fell through with Boozer falling to Memphis because Utah went with Darryn Peterson. So I think I personally thought Boozer was going to go too right after Dybonsa. So him falling to Memphis, that's a place where I feel like he could become the face of the franchise because right now, Memphis, right, they're up in arms with John Morant. They're looking to trade him. And then you have Zach Edey. And from there, I feel like it's open game with who can take over the franchise.
Well, one thing about Memphis, they got our guy from Rochester, Beef Stew. They got Isaiah Stewart, Ryan, and Greg. You like him. He's a bruiser. So I don't know what Detroit was doing with that move, Ryan, but they ended up getting Beef Stew in a trade to Memphis from Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit seems to surprisingly, I don't know if you'd say hitting the reset button, but rebranding and retooling. And I don't think Jalen Duren's going to be there much longer. And there's rumor that they could be going for a different Jalen and Jalen Brown. And I think that's the best fit. If I'm the Pistons right now, I'm trading or doing my best to, if Duren's, they had such little faith in him. And I guess he's actively kind of coming out and saying that he's showing some signs of distemperament, I guess you could say. Go for Jalen Brown because clearly the Celtics don't want him. That fell through. They were trying to give him to Milwaukee.
So what do you think about that, Greg?
They ask him how Brown went out this year and said this was the best season he ever played, his favorite season. And as we know, he played it mostly by himself. So maybe it's time. Maybe
Well,
it's time to
just
pair
think
him.
I just think with Brown, I think like even yesterday there was discussion that he wants to be the face of an organization. You know what I mean? I don't think he wants to play Robin anymore. He wants to be Batman right now. So I think I don't know how that would work out. Because you still
in
got Cade
Detroit.
Cunningham. You know what I
Thank
mean?
you.
You got
Thank you. That's his
you
squad.
got yeah. That's he's the Batman of that squad. I think getting rid of your boy Stu. I think they just had to because they had to create some space for Joe. You know what I mean? They had to get
Mm,
they had to get creative and get free up some money so they can make some moves. You know what I mean?
okay.
But yeah, I take the big boy from Detroit down in Sacramento. With A Cliff and Keegan Murray and add him to some pieces and get as young as we can get and athletic as we can get. You know what I mean? And I'll take him. Give him some bonus. We'll take him.
He's
Well, when
22
we
years
come,
old.
And
The
with
guy's
Job,
22 years old. I'm surprised that Detroit would let go of a 22-year-old center that
well,
has.
I just think right now.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
I just think it's right now. It's a little bad because he wants that super max. And, coming off his first deal, he wants the super max.
Yeah.
So right now, he sees all these other guys getting paid, but he has to play better in the playoffs. They needed him to be better in the
They need him
playoffs.
to step up, and he didn't do it. So, and I think that's why
no,
he was expendable. We're gonna take a quick break, and
yeah.
when we come back, I'm sorry, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna talk some more about the NBA and the draft, and how good would that kid be from Kansas? Is he gonna be a pain in the behind? Is he gonna play? And Rochester got two more kids in the association: Jaden Bradley, Melvin Council Jr., and Elijah's gonna tell you exactly where they went and who drafted them. We'll be right back. What's going on in the experience with some NBA folks in the association from Rochester. The Rock. We'll be right back. Hey folks, welcome back to What's Going On in the Experience for round two with the guys in the building. And got a new guy, Elijah Poole. He's our director of marketing. We got my man Ryan V downstate. And we got Greg Vaughn doing this thing. Speaking of Greg and GV23, y'all got to save the date. October 3rd is the wine festival, Vino Noir wine, food, and tasting. Right here, African American Vintners. Greg is one of them. We'll be here in Rochester. We got a lot of door prizes. Be at the Temple building from 5 to 9. That's a Saturday. We got Shoe Crazy coming in town. I think we got Love and Corkscrew. We're looking at Stouffer's coming back with us. And hopefully Greg could be in the building. I would love to see him in Rochester. I know that's a stretch. I know it's cold here, Greg. But I would love to see you with your wine and the sommelier pouring here in Rochester with us, Greg.
You're right, Nate. I don't like the cold. That's why I live in Vegas.
See, I knew he. I
Uh,
knew he.
but
He said,
but
"I'll
hey,
send
but
you
it's
the
a good,
wine."
yeah. I'll see you the wine like last time. No, it's a good cause. You know, but we'll see if the schedule permits it.
I
I'm
would
always
love to see
looking.
you though. But this
Yeah,
one, what you do for me this year, okay? Could you send me some autograph stuff too, honestly? Because we got the little prizes and giveaways, right? So if you could send me like a ball or a bat or something, I would love to have that. That'd be like the coup de grace, okay? For our giveaway.
got you. I got
I
you.
hate to be
Yeah.
self-serving, but I think if we're going to meet with Greg in person, the city might be Vegas. It might be a bit. As much as we love Rochester, we
But
love
I
being in
love
this
him to come to
beautiful
Rochester,
city.
man. He'll be a king here. He'll
I
he'll
get
be a
one
king and I'll
excuse
be
to
a
leave. I
prince.
can leave one time per year. Rochester, do you think I should pick Rochester or Vegas? Let's let Rochester decide.
Okay, well, we already know they decided to go to Vegas. So
Well,
You'll meet us in Vegas.
when are we coming to Vegas, Ryan? When are we going to Vegas to see my man Greg? Because you're right. When are we going to see him?
I think we decided either last week of July around that time. But if you're
Summer
listening in
league, summer
Rochester,
league, summer league starts the 9th.
Of July?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Ryan, we got to
okay.
get to see my man. You know what I'm saying? We just see him in virtual reality. We got to see him up front and personal, and he
Yeah.
got to see me with my Mets hat on. He's got to see me up front with the Mets on. I'm not going to hit him in the head with the Knicks. because that's bygone. We did that already. It's a new era. It's a new era. Am I right, E? Isn't it a new era, E?
Sir, it's a new era in New York. Yes, sir.
It's a new era. And speaking of a new era, another reason that he's cheesing so much, Ryan and Greg, is because Alvarez, the Puerto Rican, went back to Puerto Rico with the damn
Yes,
trophy
sir. Yes,
and
sir.
was acting up, right, Greg? Jose was acting up. He got his chip, and he got some money too, Greg.
He was representing us well. He represented us well. He went from NBA championship, Puerto Rican Day parade, and then the NBA championship parade with the Knicks in New York City. He was living his best life.
So what do you think about the Knicks bringing him back, Greg? Do you think the Knicks should have brought him back?
I just think I think it depends. It depends on if you keep all the other pieces. You know what I mean? I think. I'm sure they would love to have him and run.
But I think they signed him already. They signed him. Yeah, they signed him.
Well, he has a player option, right? He has a player option.
Well, he declined the player option, and then he re-signed 3 years, $14 million.
Right.
Oh, yeah. So there you go. I mean, there you go. They answered that question, right? I think the bigger question is Dolan's trying to get him to go to the White House, and the team says, hey, we ain't feeling that.
Yeah, well, that's
the bigger question.
What they saying is this, Dolan, they're saying that's your boy. We ain't invited to the game, Ryan. That's your mans in them. JD Vance and your crew, McConnell, that's your crew. We don't want to go. And they got the right to say no. Am I right, Rod guy?
I mean, they got to see him at Game 3. We saw how that ended for the Knicks.
Okay.
Well, too. I mean, he's throwing tweets at Josh Hart. You know what I mean? I mean, you think Josh Hart wants to go to the White House? He was tweeting, bad stuff, classless stuff that like he does, and at Josh Hart. You know what I mean? Who's, the heart and soul of that team. You think Josh Hart wants to post up there? Josh Hart ain't going. I know that for sure.
Well, like I said, that's Dolan's boy. They ain't got nothing to do with the Knicks. But speaking of that's his boy and that, we were talking about that number 2 pick in Kansas before we left. What's that guy's name? Because they're giving him like a bad rap. For some reason.
Peterson.
They're giving him a bad rap, Greg. Tell me about this. They're giving him a bad rap.
I think I heard nothing but great things. He's a great kid. But, when, the way the media is now, when the kid is like, hey, man, I'm not going in the game. I'm done.
Right.
I'm tramping. I think, I think he played his way out of the first pick. You know what I mean? I think, going into the season, he was that guy. But, AJ being from, I think it storybook ending, you know what I mean? Being from D.C. and going home to his home team to play, I think it reminds us of like sort of about with the King, LeBron. You know what I mean? It's, they got their guy. And I think they got the right guy. But I think Peterson, he's just going to have to play his way out of, all those times no one knew why I just think, it was too much confusion around him. They didn't know, do you love it? Do you want to play? And they say he's a gym rat. He lives in the gym. That's all he does is eat, drink, eat basketball. But, when you still have cramps and, if you have cramps for 9 months, then it becomes a little question of, do you want to play, right?
Okay.
And I think speaking of Summer League, the number 1 and number 2, that's the first game of Summer League.
Which one?
So it's the Wizards going against the Jazz.
Ooh.
Game 1. So you get to see boys play.
Ooh, that's gonna be a goodie. Now, another kid that got drafted from North Carolina, Elijah. Caleb, what's his name?
Williams.
Oh,
Wilson.
I like
Caleb Wilson.
Ryan.
Wilson.
I like Ryan. I like him. Ryan. I like him. I watched him play. He got a little hurt, but he got some gusto, right guy.
Yeah, he's that modern two-way forward that we all love and that the Bulls really need right now. They need a guy like that. They're not close to contention, and Caleb Wilson has a really high ceiling. So if he gets a lot of touches, and he's the guy that North Carolina, and everybody knew it. I mean, out of high school, the guy was going to be a beast. So not a very surprising pick. I think he's a great fit for the Bulls.
For the Bulls, yeah.
And I know that nobody's going to get to the 5th pick because they just want to leave my boys out. But I like Keaton Wagler with the Clippers too.
With the Clip, okay.
I like that a lot.
Now, speaking of that North
Hey,
Carolina,
you know what? I'm
kid,
glad
this
you
right
guys
quick.
took him so we can get that walking bucket in Sacramento. Hey, Cliff. I'm glad you guys took.
Look,
you
we
know,
got defenders down low. We'll be okay.
Yeah, we got that walking bucket though. You know what I mean?
Now, A-Cliff he could shoot. Greggy,
but
he could
no,
put it
but
up.
I like your guy. 6'5", freaking 19 years old. What's not to like, right? Point guard.
Yep.
I mean, I think it was a good draft for the NBA. You see, after those top 4 guys, it was 5 straight guards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This was a guard heavy draft. So, you know, I think everybody in the top 10 did a great job.
But I think they got some really, really good big men too, as well. Like I said, there's some sleeper big men, you know, that went in the 2nd round. I was telling Elijah about this kid that the Lakers picked up. We saw him play. He played for St. Louis. His name is Avila. I forget his first name.
Oh, Robbie Avila.
Robbie Abdul. But
Robbie Avila.
Greg, when I tell you, he could really
he got the biggest
play.
He's like Skywalker, Kenny the Skywalker back in the day. You know,
So he got no. I said, but his little game is like he's not as mobile as you think, but he's deceptive because he's a big 6'9", 6'10" kid. He said he grew fast because he used to dribble. He said back in the day, his father had him dribbling, but he got a nice game down low, and he single-handedly almost beat Michigan by himself. He almost beat Michigan by himself, which I thought was a good little thing. And I don't know to this day, Ryan, what a Billigan is in St. Louis. I kept asking him, what the hell is a Billigan? It was the weirdest looking mascot. I'm saying, don't bring him next to the children. Whatever you do, leave the Billigan in the hallway. Don't bring him next to the kids, man. But those are some good games we saw, Elijah, back in Buffalo. I mean, we saw future. We literally saw Ryan, and like you said, Greg, future NBA stars. We literally, and it was so cool seeing that. Huh?
You know, it was cool because, you know, Ryan's giving his Clippers flowers. I got to say our Kings for once, you know, with the new guy coming back from New York. This is his first, really his 2nd draft, but, you know, trying to alleviate some money. I mean, we went and got the guard from Houston too, and then we got the big dude, you know, we got the forward from Connecticut to go with it. So, you know, and he's deadly shooter, high IQ. You know what I mean? It's
and he stretched the floor too. He gave me some OB Anunoby vibes. He gave me some OG vibes.
Yeah, for sure, right? He's a beast. But the walking bucket, A-Cliff, I can't wait for him. I'll be at the Kings' first summer league game. I can't wait to see him. Oh
man, that's gonna be so cool. Hey, Elijah, I know you got to get out of here, man. Thanks for hanging with us today.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, Greg and Ryan will let you know if they got any people for you to outreach for some marketing for us for the show. Thanks for joining the team. We really, really need you, brother.
Yes, sir. I'm happy to be here.
You're the director of marketing.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm happy to be here. Greg and Ryan, I'm happy to meet both of you as well.
Happy to have you on board, man.
Great to meet you guys.
All right, man. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Greg going to tell me how bad the Mets really, really are. He's really going to tell me he's going to tell me it's not Mendoza's fault.
We're going to actually come back, and we're going to hear from, to start things off, one of the Mets respondents last night, Steve Gelbs.
Yes.
Longtime Mets reporter.
Yes.
To start things off, he was asked about the recent firing of Mendoza, so we're going to play that clip as we come back.
Hey, we'll be right back. Fox Sports 1280, what's going on? The Experience, iHeartMedia. We'll be right back.
There's no one easy answer for how the team got here. If there was, they'd fix it. There's a lot of layers to this, but what I will say is it's become clear that the Mets simply changed too much this offseason at one time. There's every reason in the world to say that last year's team collapsed. We're going to make some changes. But when you turn over the entire roster, the entire coaching staff, you put the team in a position where, on paper and in the algorithm and the projections, they may be set up to win. But in reality, they're not. Because especially in this city, there's a ton of scrutiny. And when you lose the types of fan favorites that this team lost, there's also going to be a heavy dose of skepticism, of anger from the fan base. They're not going to give the team the benefit of the doubt and the ability early on to kind of have a malaise and
Oh my goodness. Where's everybody at?
Yeah,
all I gotta say is this,
the
Ryan.
immature 14-year-old boy in me, man, I got a kick out of that.
Right. All I gotta say is where them fans at. I got my Mets hat on, so I'm a fan. But he said it, Greg. I couldn't have said it any better, right? When you lose Pete Alonso, when you lose Jeff McNeil, when you lose my man, what's my man Brian? What's his name? In the outfield, I still love him. Nimmo. When you lose Nimmo, when you lose Starlin Marte, when you lose core people, and then you try to turn the team over. I mean, yeah, you got Soto, Lindor still there, but your pitching stinks. Greg, they can't play any defense, Greg. They look like a minor league team, Greg. Help me out. They look like a minor league team.
Well, unfortunately, it's easier to get rid of the manager than the players, right? At this stage.
Yes, indeed.
Or the guy that put this roster together. I mean, I think, Mendoza can only put out there what he can put out there. But this is my question. When you have to, the difference between them and I'll say the Yankees, right, or the Dodgers, when you decide to give someone all that money, right, all that bread, they have to do more than just play baseball, man. They got to be able to help lead your team and be an example, right? So I just don't think the Mets have found that guy to be, you could say because of the contracts, they're the face. But, dude, they don't have the guy to keep they call those player-only meetings to keep guys in line. Hey, we got to get back on track. Hey, everyone has to get on base twice, not get 2 hits. If we get on base twice as position players, we'll take our chances, right? Hey, pitching staff, I need someone that can call in, not the pitching coach that's probably never played, right? I don't even know who is on their staff.
Okay.
But they need that veteran guy. Diaz is gone. Unfortunately, he got hurt. But right, they need someone that all of the players respect to be able to say, "Hey, man, we got to do a better job." At some point, you have to be accountable, and you have to go out there, and someone has to lead these guys, right? And when you have unless it's that special guy, when you have guys that are all the same age, man, it's tough to follow. How do you follow somebody that only gives me 100% when he's going good? How do you follow some guys that they're making so much money that the game doesn't look important all the time to them, right? I mean, it's hard for that guy to have the respect in the clubhouse. All the great teams, the players take care of the clubhouse. The manager,
Yes.
he just dictates the team rules. But the players, you got to have somebody in that clubhouse, man, that has respect and is willing to take the brunt of all the tough questions and when things are going bad and not afraid to jump on somebody's ass when it's, hey, man, we need you. You making all that bread, you doing this. We need you to play like this. We need you to run out balls. We don't. I watched the other day. He was out by 25 feet on the ball to second base. I mean, he just put his head down like in T-ball.
Who's running?
Soto.
Was it Soto?
He had a ball in the gap. The guy got the ball, threw it in, and you're down by 3? And he was out by 25 feet.
I'll give you one better. The other night, he looked like he had a home run against Philly. The dude robbed him, Derek Bell. When I say was one of the greatest catches, Bryant, you got to find it.
Oh,
I don't know if you saw it, Greg.
The center
It
fielder.
was one of the greatest catches this
He's
year.
from my hometown. He's from El Grove.
Okay. He robbed him, right? Soto, before the camera could put it on him, he was already in the dugout.
Throwing
he
his
came
helmet
out the
off.
next time, Ryan. His head was down. He didn't look like it's like, damn, my shit don't run. He was soaking at the next bat, Ryan. Help me out,
Look,
man.
this as a Yankees fan, I don't know what's more entertaining, the Yankees
Come on, Ryan, stop
or
it.
the Mets. I don't know what's more entertaining these days. Or if we were to put a camera inside of Juan Soto's apartment or whatever, the suite that he has inside of Citi Field, I bet it's even more entertaining than any of this. It really is a travesty. I'm almost at the point, Greg and Nate, that I believe that David Stearns was sent by the Brewers to extract revenge for what the Mets did to them to get to the NLCS. The way that they just got rid of. Look, I think that I know a lot of people might disagree with me. I'm of the mind state that Pete Alonso will actually touch the Hall of Fame. If he somehow gets to 500 home runs, which he's on the course for, and hits 35 home runs a year, they give up a Hall of Famer and then sign in the guy who he demolished in the playoffs. And I know he's not having the worst year in Devin Williams, but it almost feels like David Stearns has been sent in to destroy the Mets with some of the moves that have been made. Spending all that money for the worst team that you could ever see. And like you said, Greg, it's the lack of effort. How do you get behind a guy like that? I don't want to say you're going to think I'm just a Yankees fan talking smack, but Greg, you said what you need to say.
And you know what? And I don't want to be a former player. Feel like I'm coming down on these guys. I'm just saying, man. The only thing you can control is your effort, right?
Yes.
And this is the difference between the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Cardinals that don't have half the payroll that they have, or the Brewers. Look how they play the game. They play hard. They go first to third. If you bobble a ball in the outfit, they're going to be on second base. The Mets, he might be the first. This is the difference. A ball hit 398 feet away, if you're a Mets player, if it hits the wall because you think it goes out, you might have a single. See, you're going to have a triple on those other teams.
You're not running hard. You're right.
They don't run hard. They don't play hard. They don't, and that's just fact. I mean, it starts at the top. You know what I mean? You know, I was bashing my Kings for a while because I was there when they were winning 13 games, bro. You know, I mean, 13 games a year. That's hard to do. You know,
gotta be a fan.
But you know, it was a lack of talent. They played hard, and you know, it's hard to watch when, you know, guys are making that much money and they don't play the way they're supposed to play, right? It's easy, you know. I was taught early in my career or early in life that you know, it's easy to judge someone's character when everything is going well. You know what I mean? But true character comes out when you have adversity and things aren't going well. How do they act? How do they perform? That's why I said Lindor is, you know, I think ahead of Soto in that aspect because he says all the right things. He has the right, you know, he has a different maturity level as far as like, you know, trying to hold the glue, being the glue to hold the team together.
Yeah, he's trying.
I just don't know if he has the. I just don't know if he has the respect of the peers in that clubhouse. You know, they might respect him as a person.
But you know, it's interesting to me. You said something earlier, and Ryan, you said it too, because I'm watching Bo Bichette. He's finally hitting. He's playing out of position, but his persona to me doesn't fit like you should be in New York. He's just like, I don't know what it is. He doesn't give me. I mean, yeah, he can play, but he don't give me like that. Like when I see Chaz Chisholm sucking the lollipop and they're mad at him, I don't care. I don't care that Chaz is sucking the lollipop and they're mad at him because he's playing. He's giving you 120. Okay, you might not like the lollipop, Aaron, but Chaz is giving you 120. When I see these guys in the Mets, like Greg said, jog, don't play with any emergency or anything. Urgency. Thank you. Any urgency. That's what I'm looking for. Any urgency. It really, really makes you upset because, Greg, Ryan, they're getting a lot of money. Ryan, come on. It ain't like they're getting pennies, peanuts.
It's crazy. And it's like you said, it's just every little layer of how they've dismantled this team. They take the effort guy in Nimmo and trade him to the Rangers. They bring on Juan Soto, who, by the way, when he's on. It's like you said, Greg. It's like when things are going great, that's the best version of Juan Soto you're going to see. But everything, and I'm not saying that, I'm not making a Pride Night joke because we just saw it in that video, but from top to bottom, the whole organization is an embarrassment. And you can see it from the Mr. Met dancing around in the background of that video. It's like it's just the one serious conversation that they've had this entire year, talking about the manager getting fired. And we have Mr. Met doing cartwheels in the background.
Who became the intern manager?
I don't even know.
Andy Green, I believe his name is.
Who?
I think it was Green. Let's look this up.
They might as well dust off Dusty Baker.
It was Andy Green. I need
Dusty Baker. Andy Green, did he used to be a A's play for the A's?
I think he was probably David Stern's best friend in high school.
I need Dusty Baker.
No, He's the
Okay.
senior VP for player development. And we see how much great player development we have with Brett Beatty.
So
and
you're going to make
Alvarez
him the
and all these guys.
manager. You're going to make him the
Great.
manager. Okay.
Alvarez, who
Greg.
everybody thought was going to be a great catcher.
But Greg, here's the embarrassment though, Greg. A double header and the Cubs get 20 runs. 20 runs. 10 each game. I went to go get something to drink, some lemonade. I came back. It was 7-0 in the second quarter, in the second inning. 7-0 second inning. I'm looking at these guys like, do they have any pride? I mean, Mr. Met had more pride than they did.
Well, they've got pride.
No, Mr. Met got more pride than they, Greg.
Well, to me, I think, I have to agree with the correspondent. I mean, they changed so much. You got rid of high character guys, like you said, and Nemo and Alonso. You know what you're getting. Those guys are pros. I just think that what are you replacing him with? And this is not a knock on whoever they sign, because I know Bo, I play with his dad. Dante's a good friend of mine. Bo is a kid from Florida, man. He's just laid back. He's just,
Yep.
It's like Ben Grieve. You know what I mean? They used to say, oh, he's on Quay. They used to call him Quaalude. And that's my boy, Ben Grieve. I mean, he was rookie of the year. He could play. But, everything was easy, and he was just laid back the way it went. He didn't play like, it didn't look like his pants were on fire, right?
Okay.
I remember the Padres used to say this about Derek Lee. He was like my little brother, from the same hometown. Man, it just doesn't look like he cares, but nobody was better. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I just think that's why you need baseball guys to lead baseball teams. That's why you need baseball guys to be in the same meeting with guys with computers, right? Because the paper is going to tell half the story. I need human element. I need to be able to look at a guy and know what a guy and see how big his sack is when it's on the line. Can I count on him? Is he going to be there? Okay, he might not be 6'5", he might not weigh 290. Exit velo might not be blah blah blah. But I know you're not going to strike him out. I know he's going to get a run in, and I know he's going to make the plays in the outfield. I'll take that every day over that BS persona, looks the part but can't play the part. Right?
Now, you know who you just talked about?
You have to be able to have both. You have to be able to have. You have to be able to have guys that can do it all. Look at the guy in Tampa. I mean, the fastest dude in the league. I mean, exit velo. If you're just going on measurables, right? It's like going to the combine. Oh, he tests off the board and all these measurables. In LT, Lawrence Taylor was telling me this story. Man, this dude. He came to camp. I mean, he set records at the combine. Blah blah blah. He couldn't block my grandma. You know what I mean? So, are we going on testing? Right? Are we going on testing and measurables and all the numbers? Are we going on human and player element, the heart, the size of the sack?
Well,
is this guy going to show up? He doesn't look the part.
But
he
Greg,
doesn't look the part.
You
know what I mean? Greg Maddox right now?
I'm saying, Greg, listen to me, Greg.
Maddox right now? Yeah.
Can you hear me, Greg?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. You just described the guy that nobody wants to put in there. They want to put him in the Hall of Fame. And I used to love watching him play because he run your ass over. Pete Rose. You just literally described Pete Rose. He wasn't the fastest dude. He wasn't none of those things. But when he got on the plate, he run you over. He throw you out. He ran my man over as a catcher in the damn. He ran a guy over at the home plate.
Ray Fosse in the All-Star game.
And Ray Fosse was never the same again after Pete Rose ran him over. He was never the same again.
But I'm just saying the guys played a different style of ball. And I don't want to say, it's these kids, you got to remember, they're growing up with social media. So, everything is a show. They've been a showman ever since, they can hold the phone, right? So it's up.
Bat flip.
Who are we to argue with that? That's fine. But my point is, at some point, you have to have guys that are also making those decisions as far as analytics, with guys that know how to judge intangibles, the ball sack. But hey, can this guy fight like hell up there? Or are we just measuring, Or when he does hit one, oh, the exit velo was, 111. Okay, what about the other 499 at bats, right? Can he move a runner over? Can he get a runner in from third base?
Can he hit with the damn bases loaded? Even if you give me a fly out with one out and the bases is loaded, bring the man in.
But once again, it goes back. You're talking about player development. You talk about your Twins, your Brewers, your certain organizations, and the Dodgers. Certain organizations teach guys how to play, but they also have guys that have played the game still involved with the game, right? Teaching these guys because we know how this shit's hard. I haven't had a bad day since I retired. I haven't had a bad day from the couch ever because it's easy from the couch. But you have to be able to have guys that convey this, that have done it, that know how hard it is to help teach these young guys, right? Because at some point, yeah, exit velo and all that other stuff is important. But how you gonna have a guy teaching it that ain't never done it? How you 2 strike? Hey man, 2 strikes. Hey, I need you to get on top of the ball, not swing up. I need that run in. I need you to score that run. So I need you to hit me a ground ball to second base so I can get an RBI. They don't do that anymore. They say
they don't
lift and separate, and if you strike out, it's okay, and that's bad baseball.
They don't even bunt any longer. They don't even bunt the ball any longer. I'm looking at these guys looking like, damn, they can't even bunt any longer. But speaking of bunt, we're gonna bunt our way out of the segment, and we're gonna come right back.
You know what happens though, Nate? Before we get to this break, I think the Brewers sacrifice bunted 3 times in a row, and this is how bad it is. They got the butts down 3 times in a row. The Reds couldn't field the ball 1 time. They don't practice fundamentals. That's what I'm saying.
Hit it and play. They say just hit the ball and play. Make them.
Hey man, Ryan, let us take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna wrap it up with some WNBA. I think they suspended the babe that put her forearm in Caitlin Clark's throat. They gave her a little couple of days off. We'll be right back. What's going on? The experience. Come on, man. Stop beating up on Caitlin Clark. Oh, and finally, Angel Reese scored more than 20. Be right back. Hey, folks, welcome back to our final edition of What's Going On, the Experience here on Fox Sports 1280 and iHeartMedia. But I just want to give you guys an update. Today is the last day to vote for the WNBA All-Star voting. Today's the last day to vote. Get your vote in, okay? And speaking of W All-Star game, the game's going to be Saturday on ABC, July 25th. So watch all those All-Stars face off live. And I hope my girl Caitlin Clark can come back from a back injury. That chick stays injured. They be jacking her up, though, Greg. They be like beating her down, man. So she got to take a little break, okay? And right now, man, Indiana Fever looks like they're doing okay. But my girl Aaliyah Boston is still out, Ryan. Because I love her game, man. But the WNBA look like they're going to be doing some things July 25th for the All-Star game. So be there or be square. And your Aces are doing good, Greg. Can they repeat?
Right now, the Aces are we just get through the season. You know what I mean? We're like Phil Jackson. Season don't mean anything. We just get to the playoffs and then we do our thing, right? Stay healthy till you get to the playoffs and do your thing. And I think that's what the Aces, they're built for that. They're built for playoff basketball. The season is just part of the journey, right? But we're built for playoff basketball. And I think they can repeat. I think the parity, I think the league is getting better all the way around. Something on Caitlin Clark. Does it remind you of when Michael Jordan first came in the league and they used to beat the dog shit out of him?
Used to beat her up. Used to beat him up. Ryan, they really, like, I was watching the game the other night, Greg. They literally, like, beat this chick up. I was like, damn, this is kind of like not fair.
You know what they were doing to Mike? Same thing. So, like I said, you can't play the victim, Caitlin. No, hey, you're going to be the face. You got to be the face. They did the same thing to MJ, right? Hey, get in the gym. Just get in the gym. Keep getting stronger. But this is going to
lift some weights, though, Ryan. She got to do
something. But I mean, it's just part of it, right? This is the part of it that comes with it.
It wasn't that crazy, Greg. Did you see the violent incident in which she got punched in the throat?
You guys didn't think the guys beating up the freaking Spurs fans were bad either. So, I mean, I don't know what you guys think is bad. You know what I mean? Brothers couldn't even wear a Tim Duncan jersey down the street without getting freaking mauled.
No. No,
There
but
were a
no,
few
Ryan.
Spurs Warriors in that crowd,
But
though. I gotta
Ryan,
say.
you don't
But
think
yeah,
it was that bad,
I agree.
Ryan? You don't think it was that bad for she did
I think it
a
was that
little
bad. It was a
forearm
little,
to the neck,
little love tap on
a
the
little
throat.
nudge, a little nudge.
Yeah, it wasn't like she was full mounting her and punching her in the face.
Okay.
It wasn't like Malice in the Palace. It wasn't like that crazy. I don't know. But
Well,
look,
you know which one I didn't think was bad? The one I didn't think was bad was the 3-pointer. The 3-pointer when she's laying on the ground. The other girl basically held her ground and she jumped into her, right? You know,
Yeah.
so and she's laying on the ground. I mean, she's one of those. She wants every call, man. She's like Luca.
She is like Luka.
but
She is like Luka. Yeah.
I mean, they
I
never
thought about
fouled
like that.
anybody.
Yeah.
They never fouled anybody, but they want every call,
Yeah.
every single call. You know,
But
never.
speaking of every
they've never
call,
touched-
Ryan,
Oh yeah,
Ryan,
she,
the
yeah,
Yankees.
she wants every call. You know, I guess when you're a superstar, you deserve it. But come on, man. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Okay, but before we get to Yankees, I gotta do one thing. What about that Giannis trade? Now, he's in Miami.
Ooh, they gave away a whole team and some.
So
they gave
tell
away
me
the
about that
franchise.
trade right
A
quick, Ryan.
ransom.
What do you, Greg?
Well, I think it was I guess it was a needed move. I mean, if the perfect scenario, if you're Giannis, I would think was to get traded to the Boston Celtics for Jalen Brown. I'm not sure. Maybe they didn't want the Celtics to be that good because with the addition of Giannis to Boston, that would have been an unstoppable team. Now, Miami, Pat Riley could pull off a few more moves, but they don't look to be that deep a team. Like Greg said, they pretty much traded everybody away. So if they can somehow put some guys together, they've got a solid 2 duo of big men. But now they need to put everybody else around them. So, I mean, look, at least it's better than Milwaukee. If I'm Giannis, at least I get to live in Miami now. At least the Heat have brought in yet another superstar, which they tend to have success when they do. So we'll see. I guess we have
What do you
yet to
think,
determine
Greggy?
what happened.
I agree with Ryan. I think Boston would have been the chosen
The
destination
better landing spot.
because
yeah.
what you had to give up in Milwaukee. I mean, 2 first round this year, next year, and the whole team. I mean, basically they gave the whole team away, right? The kid from Ohio State, Tyler, your boy Hawkes from UCLA. They gave everyone away.
Jaime Hawk, yeah, he's good too.
Yeah, like I said, I hope the Kings, man. I hope the Bucks are rebuilding. Let's go get a couple of those pieces. You know what I mean? Let's go get a couple of those pieces because they're all 22, 23.
It
And
kind of reminds me of when if you go get LeBron, he throws in Bronny. They always throw in Bobby Portis for some reason with Giannis. Take
he's a good player,
Bobby
though.
Portis.
They play
Bobby
well
Portis is a good player.
Yeah, but they always throw him in with Giannis. You ever notice that, Ryan? They always give like, okay, take. But if it ain't Giannis and Bobby Portis, it's Giannis and his 2 brothers. You got to take the 2 brothers plus
No,
Bobby
Pat
Portis.
Riley ain't playing. Pat Riley ain't playing that.
He
They just
didn't
freed
take
up
him.
3
He didn't
his
take him.
They
No,
waived him
he
immediately.
gonna get a
They
job. He
waived
might
him.
get a job being in player development, but he ain't getting a roster spot.
Yeah.
Not with Pat Riley. You know, the thing about the Bucks, they just freed up 3 roster spots on their team.
Like for real. Like 2 dudes wasn't even playing. They were just taking a spot. Giannis nah, leave my brothers alone. Give them some run. We up by 20.
They just freed up 3 roster spots. That's why they went out and got half the team.
And now the question is, do the Ball brothers now all go to Minnesota? That's the new question. We know what they do with the Antetokounmpo boys, but will the Timberwolves do the same thing with the Ball brothers? What do you guys think about that trade? How impactful is that? Is that going to change the shape of the West at all?
No, because he ain't a big dude. Greg, help me out. Is he a big man? He can shoot threes. Anthony Edwards needs another big. Let's keep it a buck. When you got rid of Randall, I don't know what that was about, but you can't replace Randall with Melo Ball. It ain't practical. He can shoot threes, but he ain't going down low to get no damn rebounds.
I think they needed someone else to help stretch the floor, right? I think.
Okay.
I think Randall, you know, he's a bruiser. I just don't think he was their fit. And I think during the playoffs, they just got frustrated with him. You know, one day it's 5 points, the next day it's 30. Yeah. And, you know, you get a pretty good defender in ball too. You know, and you got athletic at the point guard. But like Rye said, I don't think, or like you said, Nate, I don't think that's the answer. I think this league is a league of wings. You need, you know, like your OGs and guys like Josh Hart. You need wings. You need wings that two-way wings. You need two-way wings. You know what I mean? And I think and that's what I'm hoping the Kings. Like I said, man, we needed to go from that 6 foot and under league to 6 feet and under to actually playing basketball. You know what I mean? I see it, our moves that we're going a different way. So I just think it's a game of wings, and Minnesota's going to have to add somewhere.
For sure. Who do they got now? Kyle Anderson, veteran presence, Jaden McDaniels, and then they've got a center. They got a real center. But
Rudy.
I agree though, Greg. Like it's a league of wings. But look, the off season's still going. So a lot of these teams that were kind of
just getting started. It's just getting started. July 1st.
I mean, get the popcorn ready. Can you believe this many moves already? It is an exciting offseason.
Well, I'm gonna leave you all with this. Will the Knicks re-sign no jump, no foul shooting Mitch Robinson, big rebounder? I mean, can they afford to get rid of him? Because I think they can probably replace him with some other big men they got around. But can they afford to get rid of him?
So Nate, you want a chip, so now you can play devil's advocate. It almost backfired you on Hartenstein. It took you 3 years to rebound from Hartenstein till Robinson filled that shoe. So I just think he's a guy that.
But I think if they get somebody if they get that kid from Dallas, Derek Gaffney, it's some big guys out there that could get some rebounds. Are they Mitchell Robinson? I'm not saying that, but I know one damn thing: you're going to get more than 2 free throws out of 10. I could tell you that.
Okay. So, but how many block shots are you going to get? And that rim protector. Like I said, once again, let's take the analytics and the numbers out of it. The stuff that Mitchell Robinson brings you is like Josh Hart. Say Josh Hart, he had a tremendous playoff run where he was hitting his threes in those few games. When he got 30 points and all that. But he brings you so much that doesn't. That when you look at the numbers. He locks down the other guy. He gets all the 50-50 balls. His heart and his energy uplift the whole arena. Those things you can't measure, right? So
you sound like a Knicks fan to me, Greg, because you're saying keep Mitchell Robinson, right? Keep Mitchell.
Yeah.
But they might have to go into the second apron. And Dolan is cheap.
Yeah,
we got to get out of here.
They said they didn't want to do that.
Yeah,
what about Porzingis? I know that we got to go, but real quick, what about the Knicks getting back Porzingis? He's an unrestricted free agent.
Nah, I heard he's going someplace else. He
hasn't stayed on the court. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I said,
he can't stay healthy, man. He can't stay healthy. So we don't need that guy. I mean, at least Golden State signed Al Horford. He's 52 years old, and this. He's 52 when they signed Al Horford. So, and then the guy
I tell you what. Speaking of Golden State, they had a good draft with that kid from Michigan, man.
I know, and he had the nerve to say he was a Kyrie guy and wasn't a Steph Curry guy. Steph called him and said, "Now, really, I guess you playing with me now. It ain't Kyrie. Hey, man, we're gonna get out of
here." And he was talking about Draymond, and I'm from Michigan. I don't like Michigan State. I'm like, God damn, he's setting the tone. I don't know how smart he is, but I know he went to a pretty good team.
So that's gonna be interesting, but have them talking smack. Hey man, Greg, thanks for joining us as always, my brother. We appreciate you.
I have to love you if I'm getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning on in Las Vegas to watch a man wear a Mets hat. You know what I mean? So
that's the truth.
Thanks for the agony. I love it, Ryan. As always, listen. Are you a whaler or are you into Mexico soccer? What's going on with you today?
Hey man, cabrón. Look, I love America, man, but I'm rooting for Mexico this year, man.
Okay.
What about your African boys down there on the Ivory Coast making it to the next round? And how about
was that Cape Verde or something like
Cape
that?
Verde, yeah. And how about France? They got all their players look like me and you, Nate.
Parlez-vous français? Oui, je vais du français. Okay. And with that being said, je m'appelle Nathaniel. Until next time, we're out of here. Peace.